If there's one thing that people have been waiting on for Ford to bring into the Philippines, it's probably an electrified vehicle. Well, now it finally has a hybrid, and it's not just any hybrid, it's the new territory. We saw a plug-in hybrid Ford Territory come out of the global market just a while back. Well, this isn't that plug-in hybrid. This is an all-new hybrid powertrain under the hood, and the Philippines is first dibs on this version. That's right, we are the first in the world to get this. And Ford has decided to launch this here, seeing as the market is big on hybrids and they're big on crossovers, and this model is actually quite popular among Filipinos, so I could see the logic behind that. Now anyway, let's talk about this powertrain because it's actually very impressive. I drove the old Territory and my complaint about that one was turbo lag. This is still a turbocharged engine under the hood, but complaints such as turbo lag are no longer there because of the hybrid powertrain, because of the electrified system. It's actually quite punchy, and you step on it, it just goes. And it has a lot of power. That electric motor alone has more than 200 horsepower, more than 300 newton meters of torque. It's just overall a big improvement from the old one. This does 0 to 100 kilometers in over 8 seconds. That's 2 seconds quicker than the old model. But power isn't the main focus here, it's fuel economy. And Ford says that this has a 60-liter tank, and with one full tank, it can do more than 1,000 kilometers. And that's kind of like the benchmark now, is it? Like 1,000 kilometers on one full tank. Well, this isn't a plug-in hybrid. It's more of your traditional series parallel hybrid. It's a gas up and go kind of system. No need to worry about charging, and it can do just that. So yeah, it's actually very impressive. Now, this is still the same platform and chassis underneath, but Ford has made a few tweaks here and there to make it a better driving vehicle. For starters, they have reworked the control arm to make the suspension a bit stiffer and improve handling, but not at the expense of comfort, because this is still a very comfortable crossover. These are not perfect roads we're driving on yet. It just absorbs the minor bumps and imperfections on the road quite easily. And it's also much quieter here than in the old Territory, or at least in the pre-update one, because it now has laminated windows, so a lot less of the noise seeps into the cabin, and that adds a lot to the comfort. Steering is a bit on the lighter side, and I'm going to demonstrate that just now, right about now. Still has a slightly big turning radius because it still is a compact crossover, but it's very easy to maneuver. Now, Ford has also made it a point to make this steering feel a bit heavier when you switch across drive modes. Now, my only question is, where is the drive mode selector? Now, I think, as with most modern cars these days, they're still here. The drive mode selector is still here. I don't see any buttons here. I don't see any controls here. So yeah, I guess that's something that can be improved, probably a button here for the dedicated drive modes. In any case, there is Eco, Normal, and Sport. And with Eco mode on, regen braking is set to extra powerful, so it gets more battery charge as you're slowing down. Now, speaking of battery charge, I mentioned you don't plug this in. You just drive it, and it recharges battery as you go along, or as you slow down, and as you brake. And there's actually a gauge here that shows you just that. When you're stepping on the throttle, the power goes from 0 to 100%, and when you're slowing down, it goes below 0, meaning it charges. So you actually see real time what you're doing with the battery and the engine, and it also helps you be more mindful about how you're driving. So if your power percentage is always set to high, that means you're not a very efficient driver. We're not on a racetrack today or anything, we're just on a closed course, but earlier we were able to try out the new features of the Territory Hybrid, starting with comfort braking. So when you're driving, say at highway speeds of 80 kilometers per hour and you hit the brakes hard, not enough to engage ABS, but a bit hard for people inside the cabin to lurch forward, it actually reduces pitching, improving overall comfort. As I implied earlier, this isn't an extensive drive. This is just a very quick preview. So in a proper review sometime in the near future, we're going to do a proper deep dive into the features and how this actually drives and how it performs on the road. But for now, we're going to park this car and we're going to check out the exterior and give you guys a tour of the cabin. The facelifted Territory has a more macho-looking, even futuristic front fascia. It still has that almost L-shaped headlights borrowed from the pre-update model, but it now has this large light bar that stretches the width of the front end. It also still has that honeycomb grille underneath, but it's now slightly smaller, narrower, and are now enclosed by the said light bar and the gloss black panels on the side. This front clip is further accentuated by the black plastic cladding, some air intakes, and this gray trim underneath. The black plastics wrap around the vehicle all the way to the rear. But before we move on there, take a look at those wheels first. These 19-inch alloys have a new design, and I would say they match quite well with the overall exterior of the Territory. Also, this hybrid trim on the side, as well as the illuminated Ford badge up front, are only available for a limited time from the launch, and after which they'll be available for purchase as an added option. Now, since I don't want to drive this vehicle around anymore, let's check out the other unit we have to check out the rear end. Here at the back, they've ever so slightly redesigned the taillights, and the bumper looks a bit cleaner now. Now, this is the trend variant, this is the base model, so it doesn't have a power lift gate. What we had earlier was the Titanium X, that has one, but this has the same trunk space, still a big trunk, and a spare tire underneath for both variants. These, by the way, are 60/40 split folding seats, and you can fold them down just like that. Now, before we check out the inside, take a look at the wheels on this base variant. These are 18-inch alloys with a different design. This actually looks like the old Everest's wheels. Try to imagine the look of that. Anyway, let's hop on inside. Here on the inside, the layout is mostly the same, but they have made tweaks where it matters. Now, let's talk about the space first. Again, this is a compact crossover, so it's very roomy inside. I have a lot of leg room, plenty of knee room, elbow room, and headroom are great. And I assume at the back, it's basically the same story as well. Now, in terms of tech, they've updated the two displays here up front. You have a digital display for your instrument cluster and for your infotainment system, enclosed in this one black panel up top. I like that they didn't use the big-ass vertical screen on the Everest and the Ranger, because this keeps it a lot simple. Now, this one comes with wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and they've tweaked the controls, the UI, just so it's easier to use. And some of the controls are still buried here, but it's good that they have a separate panel for the AC. Now, I want to talk about this first because this is a huge update. So I'm on wireless Apple CarPlay now. My phone is projecting through the screen. And let's say I want to adjust the AC controls. I'm going to click auto. The AC controls opens up here. In a few seconds, it's going to switch back automatically to my Apple CarPlay display. Right about now. That's a very, very huge thing for me. It might be small for some, but I've driven a lot of cars recently, and that was one of my biggest complaints. Now, as for this one, they've also, again, tweaked the display. It's crisper, the display is better, and it has gauges for your power and for your speedometer. In terms of storage space, it's still mostly the same. You have a center armrest with a large cubby here, and you have this small cubby with your wireless charger. Now, I guess there's nothing left to do but hop onto the back seat. Now, here in the second row, as you may probably have noticed already, it's so roomy here. It has so much space, legroom for days. I'm sitting behind my driving position and I have so much legroom. Probably two Carlo Chonguncos to fit here, one in front and here at the back. It's that big, and it's actually a second row where I can say 3 of me would probably fit here. The floor is flat, there's no tunnel in the middle, and it would actually make 5 passengers very comfortable. There's also a center armrest here in case there are just 2 of you. Now, I didn't mention this when I was in front, but the Territory has new seats. This top-of-the-line variant has a 2-tone finish with the yellow stitching, and it's very comfortable. It has good thigh support here at the back, if a bit reclined, but that's fine. It would make for more relaxed drives. The headrests up front, though, have been redesigned to provide better comfort. Here, it's still the same, but I have 0 complaints. Now, as you can see up top as well, there's a moonroof, a very expansive moonroof, and it opens all the way to the back. It's actually not hot even. It's broad daylight right now, tanghaling tapat. This is tinted and it's not hot at all. Amenities here include a small pocket on the armrests, bottle and cup holders on the doors, and dedicated AC vents for the back passengers and 2 USB-C charging ports. Anyway, that wraps up the interior. Ain't it? What's up dito? So we've shown you and told you everything there is to know about the new Ford Territory Hybrid, save for one thing, and that's probably the most important part, the price tag. This starts at 1,399,000 pesos for the Trend variant, and this top-of-the-line Titanium X with all the bells and whistles comes in at 1,599,000 pesos. Take note that this is a compact crossover with a hybrid powertrain as standard, and that was just subcompact crossover pricing. This might just be the most competitive Ford model we've seen in quite a while. And if the old one was a big hit, I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be an even bigger one.